Hey, Studio 108 community. I'm smiling already, and I'm so glad you clicked in with us. I'm sitting today with Caitlin Pendolino. She is a powerful goddess and energy worker and healer, and my neighbor. So welcome, Caitlin.
Thank you.
I was thinking about how I first came to know Caitlin, and I think it was like in the 90s, like maybe 95, 96, 97. And since Caitlin and I are in our wisdom era, I'm going to tell you the story of long ago when they had this little newspaper like magazine called the North Coast Sports.
Okay.
And that you would get it for free,
okay.
like at Mark's along
Oh, yeah.
Bernie Schulman's might be what it was called. And I lived up on the east side of Cleveland. So I would go to Cedar Center, Bernie Schulman's,
Okay.
and they would have them along the shelf as you left. And I would
really going back.
It's going way back, right? And I would always grab the North Coast Sports. And Caitlin had in the black and white classified just yoga in my home, Caitlin Pendolino with her phone number there. And I would just always see it. It said Brecksville. And I was like, that seemed far away, you know, when you live on the east side of Cleveland. Brecksville is like, wow, where is that? So, and then what? Then I moved to Brecksville in like 01, but I lived way on the other side of town. And then I moved into my neighborhood now where you and I both live in 05, but I lived on the other side. And then in like 14, I moved in with Bill on that side. But even though you were there, I didn't really know you for a lot of years.
I know.
And I remember being like out with the kids one time, maybe they were selling like Boy Scout popcorn or something. We were at your door, and I remember seeing in your door that you had crystals and you had like incense, and I was like, oh, she must do yoga too. But like I didn't know that was you from like, well, like I could remember that article clear as day, and how I like.
I don't think you've ever told me that story.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
We go way back. And then I think it was probably when I moved in with Bill that I got to know you better, and you really helped me through. Caitlin and her energy healing really helped me through the whole journey when Deanna was sick, and like helped me get back on my feet. I think I had Lyme's through that time period, so there was a lot of healing that happened, and I'm really blessed by Caitlin and Enzo, and I love that they hold the vibe high in the neighborhood.
Well, right back at you.
Right?
We're doing it together.
We're doing it together. We have another neighbor across the street who's like follows Buddhist practices, and it's like our little triad.
I was gonna say, definitely.
Yeah.
Like a little pyramid.
Our little pyramid trine of like high frequencies energy.
And Marianne too, actually.
Actually, yeah, for sure. Marianne too. So anyway, Caitlin's into something really exciting, and she's been growing into this the past couple of years after really a lifetime of exploration and development of consciousness and spirituality. And I wanted to sit with her today to unpack this Galactic Astrology and like what that was. I had a reading. It's really cool. So tell us a little bit about your background and start us there.
All right. Well, I go back to picking the parents that were metaphysical in a time era when nothing hardly was metaphysical. My dad would have been 104 yesterday if he'd lived, and I was just really blessed. My dad taught me all about herbs and vitamins and supplements and natural healings, things like that. And then my mom, yoga. She actually took yoga from the VOED Center, Cuyahoga Valley Career there, when it was considered the VOED, and from, her name was Catalin, the Hungarian lady that did it for years. Did you ever meet her?
I never met her.
Yeah. And so my mom took me into the lavender clouds and taught me all this in 1970s. So I was very blessed.
Yeah, you were very blessed. They say there's no higher blessing than being the child of a yogi.
Yeah. And I had two. My parents both were soulmates. And anyway, so it started out very young. They took me to the United Church of Christ, which when I was in Sunday school classes, the one in Brecksville actually is where I went. I attended, and they had teachers that were doing Hinduism, Buddhism.
Wow!
So I'm here, like 14 years old, learning about this in a Christian church. So I think we planned well. That's all I got to say, because it just everything that was rooted in my childhood carried forward into my adulthood. There's just no doubt about it.
It all shaped.
It all came together. Very different. I don't know too many that have had that kind of experience where both parents were involved.
Yeah.
Maybe one, but yeah. So I go back to those roots. And then got involved in yoga first. And yoga came about, well, with my mom, but then more serious studying and practicing. Went to Himalayan Institute in Pennsylvania, Kripalu, where I got certified, and through Joseph LePage, though, not through Kripalu.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful practice that's energy based and integrative based. It's not the same lineage where the power yoga thread came from the West Coast. This came like from the East Coast. So Caitlin and I have kind of different backgrounds that way, but I really love their work.
Yeah, he was incredible. 900-page manual that I was pulling from for years, making seminars. And teaching, because when I was teaching yoga and things back in the 90s, I was the only kid on the block in essence.
Yeah, you were just running a classified ad,
and then,
a lot of people.
Well, it was bulletin boards, coffee shops. I mean, it's some of the most wonderful people in my lives now I met through a bulletin board. And prenatal yoga, baby yoga, just really, it was. Just feel so very, very blessed. Yeah. Very blessed. Yeah. And anyway, so forwarding to Reiki. And so Reiki master, 28 years, have many people out there have been in our lineage. Yeah. My husband too. Yeah. And just did a Reiki master seminar this past weekend, our 4th seminar for that series. And so we keep it going. And then astrology came in 2018 more seriously. So I started studying that, and that's the traditional astrology. And then in 2022, I found Julia Balaz and her Quantum Soul Guidance Practitioner's course or program, which is all about galactic astrology. And she was really one of the first. Yeah. There's more out there now, but Julia, if you're looking for a course, I highly recommend her. Yeah, yeah. She is integrous beyond belief, just a wonderful shining soul. And once you see her, you can just see it emanate. You know, her, yeah. And so, because this is a topic that can be disturbing sometimes when you're getting into galactic heritage, because we have all types of connections that we could have heritage with. Yeah. Everybody thinks, oh, it must be the Pleiades, you know. And yeah. And I'll tell you, I've done a lot of these now, and it's rare if I would get somebody that has a full out conjunct Pleiades connection. Right, right. We're much more melting pot than we can appreciate. Very much so. So I think that what I love about like the way Caitlin has developed the lens, and one of my Kundalini yoga teachers says, if you don't believe in extraterrestrial community, then you don't understand federal government. And what he's talking about is this idea that like we're myopic here on Earth, and then we've got our solar system, and so we're watching those planets and those stars, and that's traditional astrology. And then we've got like beyond that, our solar system's presence and participation in a bigger energetic field of the universe, and then our universe beyond that, the multiverse. So it's like we're pulling out and out and out for wider lenses, and it's really exciting. But people do tend to treat it just like they do here in the 3rd dimensional on Earth, is like where you're from has status to it, or like this. You know, we project. We just have feelings. We just have feelings, right? Yeah. And so we all want to be like, oh, I'm Pleiadian, but mostly it's just such a melting pot. And I really loved seeing that even in my chart, like the different connections and how all of these different connections can be a part of me and who I am and who I've been and who I'm continuing to become. And your ancestry too. Yeah. And through that whole lineage. Absolutely. Yeah. Mother, father, can be found there as well. Just from your own chart, you can find that.
Yeah.
This is fixed star astrology, and many of you may have heard of that study astrology. So Hermes was the one that and I have a hard time saying his name, Hermes Trismegistus, the one in the 1500s who identified the Bahamians, the 15 Bahamian stars, which are part of those fixed stars that most people have heard about. Arcturus is part of that in that 15, for example. And so so that's where a lot of this astrology has come from his studies. And what he did was he figured out the gemstone correlatives to those fixed stars. He found out the herbal remedies.
Interesting.
You got to remember, a lot of the things many of us are into now come from those ancient times. It's just so true, you know, that ancient wisdom.
It's a remembering.
Yeah. So it's, I feel we're trying to go back to it, but also to move forward with it at the same time, and bring the new qualities of it, because we're very much in New Earth right now, and I'm sure you'll agree. It's, if you don't feel you are right now, you've really got to look within and question, where is your attention going? Because if your attention is on what I call the positive, New Earth loving holographic insertion that we are receiving, and these are insertions is how I look at them, the way I believe, and even this all comes in with the Galactic Astrology. These are coming not from anything outside of ourselves, it is from us in the future. Okay. We are the aliens. We are the future beings. Okay, our multidimensional soul is connected. So when we look at galactic heritage, we are their ancient, ancestors, their family. And I always thought, if you go online and you look for stuff, and there's a lot of negativity about the aliens and this and that, and it's like, if they were going to take us out, they would have taken us out a long time ago, because
a long time
they can't take us out.
Primitive, actually.
We're their ancestors.
Yeah.
They take us out, they take themselves out.
Yeah.
There's no way to know. I mean, we know how we are a melting pot. What's that? There was a documentary about 6 degrees or something like that.
Yeah, 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon, something.
We are, wow. We are so connected.
I think that it speaks to the very fundamental teachings, like the fundamental teachings from every culture around the globe through all of time was love. I mean, it's that like simple and that fundamental,
right.
That foundational. But when you start to look at what's happening today and these energetic streams and the way that we can now perceive and interact with each other, if we don't have that foundation of love, it's really it's that simple. We just we just need to find the love within every situation, the love within every conversation and every face-to-face. Then you're meeting yourself, because you're meeting yourself anyway. Like the math behind it, the science behind it, the physics behind it is undeniable. Like
when love, love is light on verifiable experience. That's how I translate that.
Fear.
Fear is false evidence appearing real. So
light
what on verifiable experience? It's what's real. And what is real is unconditional love, which is the only truth. Everything else is just an illusion. So it always comes back to love.
And we get to play and experience all these other dimensions and experience and feelings and thoughts. We get to play in the soup of it. But the path forward is going to be pretty singular.
Let me tell you a little, in your audience, a little bit more about the galactic astrology itself too. So most people that know something about astrology they'll know your sun, your moon, your rising, also called ascendant energies. But we get into looking much more in depth, because we are looking at even like how your Jupiter, say if you have Jupiter in Libra, what planet is that connected to, okay, in your chart? And then what fixed star is going to interact with that, okay? So, so for Libra, the sign Libra, Venus is the planet. So say the fixed star is Arcturus, keeps coming into mind. So then we would look at how the Arcturian star family is influencing your Jupiter in Libra and how it influences and works with Venus. There are how these three modalities, like Jupiter makes everything big, it expands.
Exactly.
Libra is about balance, okay? And the Arcturians, believe it or not, are about balance. They are beings that are feminine, masculine, in balance, okay, at this 8th dimensional frequency that we work with them. There's different frequencies of working with different star families.
Right.
Arcturians, or Arcturians, some people call it Arcturians, they do not come into body anymore. They specifically help people to get in to their human bodies. That's their job now, because they did in the beginning. They were part of the first teams that were here. So you had your Pleiadian team, your Syrian team, your Arcturian team. There was initial beginning teams who did take body, did take form. Who knows, one of us could be sitting here that was one of those original team, you know, or out here in your audience. We really don't know. But you have that multidimensional cellular memory, and through Pluto and different connections, there's ways to find that out. How far back do you go with your star families? Stuff like that. It's just fascinating. I mean, it's impossible to do a full out report. I tried. When I initially started doing this, I'm coming up with 55 to 60 page reports for people. So now I have this great database that I created, but now it's like people can't handle that much.
No.
And so I'm keeping it slimmed way down to like a maximum of me typing information at 8 pages. That's the max. You don't need more than that.
Right. And I know.
And then you can come back every several months and we can investigate the next area so that you can get down what you learn in the first one. And if people that are doing that have been thriving with what we're sharing. And I'm not the only one doing this. We have a whole group of practitioners.
Yeah.
Like
I brought my chart because I had a reading, and the same thing. It was like, oh wow, it was fascinating. It was interesting. And you're very gifted at anchoring things in the 3D. So like, what would that mean to me in my life? What would I want to be looking out for? What might be a next step of awareness or journaling work or healing work that would be really helpful? But still, I think it's like a lifelong exploration. Like to know
lifetimes.
Lifetimes. Well, it's an exploration of my lifetimes, but also it would be lifetimes for me to explore the whole chart. And really it brings like a sense of respect and appreciation and supports my evolution beyond what society expects of me. So if we're moving from this matrix of what we're expected to do, what we should do, what the rules of society have been for us in our lives, if we're moving towards like a more authentic experience here on Earth, this is so supportive of that, because then I can start to see the multidimensional nuances of myself. And it's kind of fun to explore that. At least I find it a lot more fun to explore that than to explore fulfilling the role that society wants to squash me into. Right. So it's really liberating. And like you can reclaim your sovereignty. You can figure out like, no, let me think about who I really am. Let me spend some time with that. Let me see, where am I just responding to triggers and traumas and old patterns. And so I don't know what else.
Well, let me speak a little mundane for a minute, looking at the big picture, because you're kind of open that up a little bit. Right now, as we're taping this, we're in the lunar eclipse, with South Node Virgo and North Node Pisces right now. And so this is a great opportunity to let go and release of what you're talking about, those restrictions and constructs that are keeping us limited, for sure. It's kind of like, it's not the only opportunity we're going to have. Obviously, we have as many opportunities as need be. We really do. We can't
mess it up.
Collectively evolve until really everybody is on board. I mean, this is not going to happen fast. Now you can individually evolve and then have a more new earth-based lifetime, experience things at a lighter frequency, and many of us are already doing this. And you know, you go into a situation and this lines up, that lines up, and that's how you know you're in what I call reality C. Reality A and reality B are on the linear one. Okay, so the goal is to get to that pyramid, that top of the pyramid, and view from there wherever you end up. Reality A is the more conservative, restrictive, just like this.
This reminds me of tight. She's got her fists
structures. It's like Saturn, very Saturn. Saturn's all about tightness, restriction. And then reality B is more loosey-goosey, more flowy. So you could think of between Capricorn and Aquarius, right? Which we just came through a transition of that with Pluto, coming out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, and we're still in that transition. This is huge. So it's very tight still. This is trying to loosen up, but it's not quite there yet. Okay, so but the what I was going to say is about what's going on with this eclipse. So we have these opportunities to really let go that are going to be coming up over the next, especially this last part of the year. But in February of 2026, we are going into kind of a launch pad energy that's going to be taking us into this big summertime. I think it's in the July, and then it happens even further into 2026. But we're going to go into this many planets coming into zero Aries. And what everybody is yakking about is that's, you know, we're coming into this very 0 point.
Yeah, new beginning.
A true new beginning.
Clear out. Like when your computer gets jammed and you have to just like not restart it, you have to just turn it off. Like, and when that happens, it's a multi-dimensional experience. So it's going to happen through the 3D as well. Because that's how energy works. It comes through all dimensions.
Yeah, but back to my little diagram, I didn't finish, I guess. So from C, this position, you can think of you're accessing your 5th dimensional frequency to the best of your ability. We do want to bypass 4D because 4D is a cosmic highway mess. Okay, it's a mess. It's the universal mind, collective thought.
It's just risky. There's a lot of up and down, and it's risky there because you get caught by something negative.
And we do it, and we have to travel through it to get out. Like when we astral travel at night. And when I look at your chart, I'll mention some of the things that we could be visiting at night. But when we can view that really structured, conservative from here, we're able to have clarity. We're able to see it differently from that position. Because you're like the eagle looking down over. Correct. And then here, it's like these are the mice down here, and here's the eagle up here, and this mouse is like getting all the crumbs. I have to have all the crumbs. Give me all the crumbs. And this mouse over here in reality B is like, here, you want this crumb? I'll give it to you. Super selfless, selfish, selfless. Okay, so up here we're looking down. And we're able to see what role is the best role in that moment for us to play from that position to help a situation. Not just for ourselves, but for the highest good of whatever's happening. So that's how you know you're evolving more and you're going in and operating from those higher frequencies.
It's very, I'm hearing neutral mind. I'm hearing like neutral, non-judgment. I'm hearing,
same thing, yes.
Also, integration, like when you're from the higher perspective, the polarity no longer pulls at you because you have skill and appreciation and respect across the whole continuum.
Correct.
And the other point that you really had in there that stood out to me was a present moment orientation, where for this present moment, this is where we're going to choose, align, move, decide.
There's no more patterning as we go forward.
Exactly.
This is what we are pattern beings. This is how we've been programmed. And to go in, it's scary to go into a new earth, a new world without a program. But it's like everything is ad lib. We all have to become Robin Williams.
Well, and there's a sense of, you know, like for a lot of people, and sometimes me as well, like that's how I know that this is the case. Like I want to push away I don't want to be responsible. I want someone else to tell me. I want to know that there's just a right answer and this is what I should do. I don't want to accept my sovereignty and my freedom. I don't want to take responsibility because it feels big. But in fact, that's what I'm doing because it's big. I want it.
So this is a whole new way of living. And we have to focus on us, our individual growth.
Right.
I mean, we all want to come out here and just change the world out here, but the only way we're going to change it is from in here. And that's how Galactic Astrology helps, because then it gives you a guidepost of who are your star families, what are the traits that come through them to help us. I'd love to grab your chart now. Just kind of talk a little bit about some of that.
I'm just handing it over to Caitlin because seriously, I printed it out. If you're just listening on Audible, they're all in sheet protectors. I printed them out in color. I put them in sheet protectors. If I had 3 pages, they'd be in a binder.
It looks like. And you can go to galacticastrochart.com, and it's a free calculator from Julia Balaz. And you can print out your chart. And then there's a modicum of information, but really you need somebody like myself. My granddaughter is also a quantum soul practitioner as well with Julia. And there's people across the world. I think there's about 70 of us now in the world. And there's some that can speak many different languages, which is awesome.
That's cool.
So we're very international, which is cool.
And that is not me. Italian, well, she's going to Italy soon, and so then she'll be international.
Well, not in a couple of years we'll go to Italy. But what I notice in most people's charts of who is attracted to work with me are these galactic, like say, conjunctions with the great attractor. And the great attractor, the galactic center, the supergalactic center, these are all the black holes. And that's, if you go online, you can look that up and find out what that is. What I believe, and this is sidestepping from Julia, this is my own guidance, that those black holes are where we have our astral realms. And I want you to think about this. There are, for as many thoughts that we have, this gets pretty deep. Each one of us, and not just us on Earth, but we could look at the whole shebang. But I feel there's astral realms that are created for everything. So it has to be massive to hold this many realms. There's so many realms. And I feel when we sleep at night, we go to these places to recharge, to revitalize. We also go to galactic council meetings all the time. Last night, my husband and I were like, thank God we had a break because we both woke up so rested. The night before, traveling. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on because we are coming up on these major shifts and changes over these next couple of years.
There are a lot of trigger points. And there's a lot of like convergence of timeline. So when things in the old days were simple, like even in the 90s, relatively linear and simple, the timeline was just flowing along. But now with so many converging timelines, things shift and change constantly. And it's like keeping up is an all night long job.
Right. So if I look at your midheaven, just to take a peek here, and this is, you have a beautiful midheaven. So midheaven has to do with our goals and aspirations, especially around career. Okay. And you have it in Sagittarius, in your 10th house is your midheaven. But your conjunct, I'm looking at the great attractor, is conjunct with your Sag in midheaven. So that says to me right there, looking at that, it wouldn't surprise me that you'd be a business owner like you are. And
really?
Yes, and that you attract people to you. Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. Also, you have here your conjunct with a very close orb. So the orbs are the degrees, and when we look at our galactic connections, this is 40 minutes. It's that close of a connection. Okay. And it's with Scorpius constellation and the fixed star Antares. And Antares is very similar to, I mentioned, Arcturus. And Antarians do not come into a human body. Okay. But they are guides for those who are human. So I would look at that you have in high level Antarian guides to help you to teach and to attract all these wonderful people that you work with.
That's really interesting. And I can work with that. But I also want to just say on a personal level, if you heard me say, wow, about being a business owner, this is another thing that's really cool about these times that folks of our generation didn't really grow up with this belief. Like we grew up where you get a job and you work until you retire 30 years and you were what you were. But, you know, I have my whole life been a teacher of some sort. I taught piano lessons, I taught preschool special ed, then I taught yoga and I taught spinning. And like, I've always had this teacher archetype. So when I opened the businesses, that was like, okay, I'm just going to run these businesses so I can be a teacher. Like I define myself in that one singular way, and pretty clever of me to like express it through all these different things that I taught, but still the one archetype, right? And so when Caitlin says that, no, it's here in your chart. It's on your buffet table. Yeah, it's right there available if you want to play with it and explore it and experience it. Is this business owner thing? And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Now maybe.
Well, let me share something
else.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask my Arcturian guides how I can like do a little better
with
with
that.
that.
Your South Node in Sagittarius at 17 degrees. Your midheaven is at 8 degrees. Yeah. Both are in the 10th house. Right. So as a galactic astrologer or just as an astrologer, traditional, I would think, right, wait, well, she's done this before because guess who's sitting in your conjunct in your South Node is again the great attract. Gotcha. So you've had, and many of these people you attract could be students of you, and you could have been a guru in India from prior incarnation because of your attraction to that now. People knowing to follow you now because you're going to set them on the right path. You're very trustworthy and beautiful soul to follow. So that shows up to me right there. Okay, that's interesting. So that is just shows you different ways of being able to look, and then what we're able to do is kind of start building a story from it. And then we like to get our stories from a lot of us follow Lissa Royal Holt is her name, and she has a book called it's like don't escape me here, The Prism of Lyra. That's it.
Oh, I have that book. Okay. Actually, you guys, okay, well, there's only one copy, but it's on the I'm gonna grab it. I just like pull it back. I was gonna recycle and reshare it, but the Prism of Lyra
has a beautiful channel. And there's another channel, Barbara Hand Cloud, who's been around forever. Her book, Pleiadian Agenda, was written in 1995. I had the blessing of knowing, I know her and meeting with her several times over the years. And so she too, there's Barbara Marciniak, The Bringers of the Dawn. These are some of the earlier authors that kind of are the pioneers.
Right, started the conversation.
Ken Carey with Starseed Transmission. He was probably one of the first because I think that book may have made it on to the shelves in the late 70s or early 80s. Don't quote me on that, but he definitely was one of the early channels for this starseed stuff.
Gotcha. So hopefully you guys have captured that. It'll be in the notes. We'll make sure the spellings are correct for you. But yeah, scroll down if you want to grab it.
but that's how I would look at somebody's chart. I look also at the person's traditional alignments as well. I want to look at like, well, what kind of elements are showing up here? How much earth, how much fire? That's really important. And then that also correlates into when I look at the galactic as well. So when I do a report for somebody, it's natal usually combined with traditional and galactic. And then I also can do transits, like what's happening now, which I think in many ways is more important because, especially for those of us who are older, you know, it's like I'm pretty far away from that. You are too, so we both are. So looking at the transit is great because like what's happening now?
What's happening now is really helpful because so much is happening. And I mean, we need to take it personally because we're here to do this work personally. Like Caitlin said, like I think that I appreciate more and more, you know, we can hear people say the first, you know, take care of yourself first and then you can help other people. But I think that in my personal reactions and situations in life, that's become more and more evident and helpful to me, that if I am centered and grounded, if I am integrated with my higher self and not just in my personality self, if I am feeling like I'm clear of, you know, you're never going to be clear of all the baggage, but I'm not in a reactive wounded place. I'm in my my more mature stance. Then for whatever reason, all I have to do is just say it, and it's going to be the better thing to say. Do it. It's going to be the better thing to do. So there's less. You know, everything ends up going better, and then I can actually help people. Then it's not like, how can I go out there and save everyone, and how can I go out there and serve everyone and fix everything? It's just, okay, how can I like orient and align myself?
That's the quickest way to get karma.
So yeah, it's so, and it's more efficient and it actually works.
Everybody's here to save themselves. You don't want to be a savior. That's off the list.
Yeah,
it really is. That's karma.
That's not what we're here for.
Accruing karma.
It creates karma.
Yeah,
right.
It does. Doesn't mean that we don't extend compassion, be an example, which is even more powerful.
Very powerful. But it comes from the self.
We don't do it for the other person. We can help them if they want the help, because you know, I've been involved in this very actively, this arena of energy and everything for 28 years. And if there are people who do not choose to heal, and you could give them every tool possible and they're not going to use it. And I think we have to accept that.
Yeah, we have to accept that. But I think one thing you said to me when we met about this, as a matter of fact, because we talked about some of my relationships and how desperately I want to help and lift and support the healing of the people I care about, that actually like stepping into their space and trying to do that kind of for them, even if it's well intended, is stealing. Like I'm stealing their dharmic path. I'm stealing their learning process. I'm stealing their, like they're building skill and they're building capacity that they're going to need to do their own jobs. And I don't want to steal that from them.
No,
so sorry, you guys, I love you, but hands off, you're on your own. There you go. Now you know where I sit. So you'll find me here, just sitting.
Yeah, it's when you figure that out, it's not that you're not, it's helping from a different place. And careful to not step into patterns of, you know, being the martyr, being the victim, being the controller gladiator, being the vampire. We have these main patterns that have been in our previous program. It's the old paradigm, and it is not meant to be carried forward at all. So we are our own, you know, we own our own shadow. We are our own vampire. We are our own perpetrator on some level. We really are. And when you can turn the lens back in towards you, Joseph LePage actually taught us this, turn the mind back in on itself, and then you're not putting the mirror here, you're looking here within, the mirror within. It changes your whole life. It just does. Because you can fix it inside of you. You can't fix it out here. It's impossible. And so if you get so caught up in the world stage, and it's very easy for that to happen, it is just a big drain of energy.
Mhm.
It isn't going to work.
Mhm.
To try to eradicate poverty out here, eradicate poverty within you. Know that you are enough. Know that you have enough in that moment, and or get it for yourself. And then you can share it with others.
Yeah, and it'll make sense too.
Yeah,
It won't
yeah,
be coming
yes.
from a grudge. It won't be coming from a desperation. It won't be coming from a hero. It'll be coming from like your own authenticity that, okay, you know, I'm called to serve and to do this. And it's a completely different thing. I think for me, what I've really been isolating and coming singular with is, how can I just hold the stream of love? And how can I hold the stream of love for myself? And then when I'm in those situations where like I want to help, or I want to fix, or I want to rescue, like just like leaning back slightly and anchoring in my own stream of love and just holding that.
I love that,
because the frequency alone will change it. Less said.
Yeah.
Caitlin has helped me a lot, you guys. She's helped me a lot, but all of those tips, like to take those little things that she gives you through a reading, and yes, you can get a reading with her. Absolutely. The contact information will be in the show notes. I highly recommend it. But there's, you know, she's really good at giving practical tips, and
I'm pretty booked. Probably would be possibly mid-November to December already, because I have quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
so
I do
it sounds like when I
too.
hear that, it's like call today because she's booking out. Call today. Think about if maybe you have a special someone that is also interested in this, that might like a gift for the holiday. Call today
and I
get
do
on her
workshops
list
too. I'd love to talk a little bit about the workshops that I offer. So I will probably be doing them again at the beginning of the year. And I will have I go to Bare Soul Studio in Lakewood, and I will probably be teaching classes there. In fact, October 18th, on that Saturday, I will be doing what I call astrology looks and oracle card readings. That will be from 11 to 3 at Bare Soul. And October 18th. And if you ever wanted to have me come here to do something, I'd be happy to.
We will.
And so so that's available, and that way, you know, you can kind of like dip your toes in, see if you like it, whatever, you know. And there's not a very high charge for it, 20-minute reading type of thing. So.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a good get to know you. That's nice to get to know people gradually. Also, don't forget that Caitlin does energy healing. So if you would like any of that kind of
Reiki training too.
Reiki training, Reiki treatments, shamanic journeying, around healing. Good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to include all of that in the show notes. And yeah, thanks for following, you guys. Caitlin, thanks for being here today. Really, really, namaste. What a blessing. All right. Take care.